Hello, my loves. Hello, nerds. We hope
Hi.
everyone's holiday break has been restful and joyful.
hmm And not
It's been
too
a
cold.
while. Yeah,
No, we're
it's cold
back.
today.
We're back.
Yeah,
We're back. We're
we're
back.
back and we're recording. Us three are in Indianapolis, Indiana, and we're expecting our first big winter storm. But I was telling Ashley it was probably a male meteorologist saying we're gonna get 10 inches, and I bet we barely get 5. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, like maybe like 3 or 4.
So yeah. So
It
we're
is snowing
recording.
right now, though.
It
Well, it needs
is.
to stop because I got photos I need to pick up after this.
Well, and guess who's coming over today, you guys?
You're
Ashley.
driving?
No, Ashley is. My friend
Oh.
Ashley. She lives like an
Oh.
hour away, and so she's staying with me tonight so she can get to work easier in the morning. So,
Oh.
because where she lives, like out in the country or whatever, they don't plow as well as in the city.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. I was like, you're gonna drive in this storm in your Tesla.
Hey,
And
it's
little
all-wheel
Pearl.
drive. It's all-wheel drive.
hmm
I got to
Thanks,
fight with.
Elon.
I
Yeah,
was
thanks, Elon.
he's Elon, yeah. You should have got the truck.
Oh my God. I saw a video of that a Cybertruck stuck in the snow in New York. It was just spinning wheels and couldn't get out. I was like, could you imagine buying like
Stop.
over 100 something grand truck and it can't get out of snow?
It's where it belongs, banked in the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I know people who've listened before know that we're all three healthcare workers. So if we get a bunch of snow, unfortunately, they still expect us to be at work
I know,
tomorrow.
right?
So
And they're not nice about it
they're
though.
not
Like
nice about it.
they told our department that if we call in on Monday, it's AWOL, which is like
I don't even think
um
they can do that legally,
I know, I
by
don't
the
think they
way.
can either. I think they were just trying to say that so people wouldn't call in.
Scare
Like
you.
I'm like, you know what? Don't tempt me with a good time because, like, who are they fooling? Like, you need us more than we need you.
Right.
So,
I was gonna
Ashley,
say because like what are they gonna do if you're stuck in your Cybertruck in the snow? Like what are they gonna
Cybertruck.
do?
my Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Ashley, you got to do what I do whenever they try to scare me at work and they say something like that. I'm like, let's see the SOP. Let me see the SOP that you can do
Like,
that. And then it's usually
yeah. I'm like,
crickets.
you're like, I physically can't come into work. My Cybertruck is blowing up around me. I
That's okay.
can't,
Yeah. It's on
you know,
fire,
It's
Chanel.
on fire.
it's on fire.
They sent
It's
us this email in the ER, mind you, in the ER, that if we work Sunday night, like work tonight, we can stay in a cot
Yes,
in a
they told
hospital
us
bed.
that.
They sent us an email. I looked over to whoever was in charge that day and said, I will walk home barefoot in 10 feet of snow before I would ever stay overnight in a cot in one of these rooms.
I wouldn't either.
I know. I
They're out of
can't
their
imagine.
damn mind.
Gosh, you guys can tell how much we love our jobs.
Sissy, that's my coffee cup. Stacey bought me this coffee cup. This is Don't Touch Me Peasants. It's my favorite
Mhm.
coffee cup. It was my work coffee cup that I left in
Yeah,
my locker so I could have my tea time with. She took the cup out of my locker and took it home. So
I
now I
did.
don't have my tea time mug.
I drink it all the time.
Okay, the fact that you get to have tea time at work just goes to show how
we
great of a nurse you are.
we have a tea time locker. Hey, you got to multitask.
Mhm.
I
Did
was
I?
gonna talk shit, but I can't. I literally read so much and dissociate. Like,
I know.
Okay.
I know. I was saying that I got to read after I'm done with my case, like after I'm done with my part in my surgery. We call our operations cases. If you don't know it, in the OR we call them cases. So I'm done with my part of the case, and I got to read. I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm reading my book. He's like, wait, how are you able to read? I'm like, well, I'm done. I'm done. He's like, damn, I need to get your job. Like, how are you
you're
how are
like, you
you
don't
getting
want it.
paid
You don't want
paid
this
to
job.
read? It's like, yeah. I was like, you're right. I I got a pretty sweet job sometimes. Sometimes I get to
Just every
read
once in a while.
every once in a while. The other part is I have to stay to finish in this case, but
That's what I can't stand about. That's not to get off too much of a tangent about work. I don't like the idea of being on call or them saying you have to stay later, like it going
Mhm,
over. Yeah.
It is
mhm.
definitely a mindset you have to get into with the OR. Chanel more than me now that Chanel like is a rep, but sometimes you're just stuck. It sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stuck
Yeah.
finishing long hours and yeah.
Which
I don't have
Chanel,
set schedule. So yeah.
I have to tell you, I do work at work. Okay, I do, you guys. But
I don't.
where our hospital is, there's like a Starbucks that's like a 5 minute, if that, like a 5 minute walk across the street. And I've been known to go to the Starbucks a lot, right? Like,
And get me coffee too, because I can't leave, but she'll bring me coffee.
I've been known
so
it's on the street.
I've been known. Well, Chanel, like I was not gonna say his name, but there's a surgeon that me and Chanel both have worked with for like what, a decade now together. And he comes to my hospital to work. And I swear to God, every time I'm walking to Starbucks, he is like walking out or into the building. So he always sees me. He's like, "Are you going to Starbucks again?" I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I swear to God, I do work sometimes. You just only see me holding the
He's like, I
Starbucks
never
cup."
see you in the OR. I
No,
always just see you in the store.
it's just, and I'm always holding the Starbucks cup. So like, I was like, I swear.
He's like, never see you in the
In
OR.
the
It's
OR.
always here.
But you always have coffee.
He's
They
like,
don't know the pain. They don't know the pain.
yeah. Yeah, that's so funny. I love
Oh
it.
my
But it's pretty
goodness.
accurate. It's pretty accurate of you.
Oh,
Okay, let's
are we
get
ready
into
to
it.
jump in?
That's like,
Okay,
I'm so
guys.
excited about this. Okay, sorry, I won't cut you off.
Well, I'm super excited for a multitude of reasons. One is because happy, I guess it's January now. Technically December. We took our 2 week break in December for Christmas and the New Year. So we're pretending this is kind of December, but December was my pick of the month. And we are
Mhm.
covering the amazing goddess who wrote Ruin from the Infernus duology. It's book one. Gillian Eliza West. Chanel's holding a copy if you're listening on YouTube so you can see it. The
Yeah.
cover is chef's choice. Beautiful.
Yes. This is the first book in her duology. So she
Hmm.
has her second book, which is coming out soon. Yeah.
Yeah. The second book is called Reckoning, and I've heard there's a lot of female rage, which if anyone knows me, I just want everyone to burn everything to the ground. So, when
Chanel, will you hold the book up again? Sorry.
she wants to get a good picture for our Insta, and oh yeah, just to swing
Sissy,
this in,
stop blinking during. Okay, no, that one's fine. You kept blinking during the photos.
I was gonna say that you can subscribe to our YouTube page if you want to
Oh
see us
yeah.
be unhinged with our facial
Yeah.
expressions,
Yeah. Yeah.
other than just listening.
And you can
Um,
actually see our faces.
Which some
yes,
episodes are better than others for me, so we can pick and choose the episodes you decide to
yeah.
watch
I
on
put a
there.
filter. I put a filter on today for me, so
You can put a filter on your face.
yeah.
I'm
You
not
guys,
doing it.
I'll
I'm
show
not
you
going
next
down that rabbit
episode.
hole.
Um, so we I'm just gonna go ahead and spoiler alert for the end of this. This was a 5-star read for me. I was telling Ashley and Chanel offline. It is incredible to me that this is Jillian's first debut novel that
Mhm.
she came out with. Um, she's incredible. And so I can't wait to get into it. The vibes for this book are just amazing. I tried to make a cute little for my notes for this episode, nerds. I made tried to make it cute to fit the aesthetic so we can post them to our
Yeah, we'll
stories after
post
this
them.
comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to make a quick note of is we interviewed Jillian.
Mhm.
So if you have not listened to that episode, watch that episode, go back and listen to it. She has great advice, great insight about this book and the next book that's coming out. So yeah, she's amazing, like Stacy said,
Mhm.
and you kind of get some background on the fact that she was a fanfic author. So she talks a little bit about writing fan fiction and kind of that merge into becoming
Mhm.
a now published author. So yes, it was an amazing interview. Like I said, go back
Mhm.
and listen to it. I believe it's our last episode that we posted. So yeah.
I
Yeah.
think, and just to piggyback off of what you're saying, because that's what I like to do. Her interview made me want to read anything that she writes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes,
I'm serious. Like,
because her fanfics are awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just like, and
Hmm.
just like her interview, I feel like you can just tell that she gets it, like what her audience, her readers want. And
Mhm.
Hmm.
so I was so excited to read her book, finish her book after that episode, and I'm with Stacey. I loved it afterwards. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was a
Um,
great interview.
yeah. She is so talented. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to read the second book. I can't wait to see what else she comes out with. In the interview, she mentioned some future projects she's been working on. I don't know how her brain keeps up with it. On top of all this, though, with the Infernus duology, she's also made up a language. So there's a completely made up language in here too, which is
Mm-hmm.
incredible. And we'll talk about it more in the book because it's great how it ties into some stuff. But she makes her own language. There's like just this whole fantasy world, new characters. It's just very well thought out, in depth. The characters have a lot of depth, and there's a lot of diversity in here too. And so it's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting book. I know everyone's shocked when I say this, but I was reading it at work, finishing like the last third of it, and I was just like because I had told her when we interviewed her that I was trying to read it slow and take notes because once I get into something, I can just like
Mm-hmm.
suck it in too quick. And so I would say like the last one third of it, I was just like, fuck it, I'm not taking any notes. I was just like blowing through it. So yeah.
I
Okay.
like, would you just say suck it and take it all in or something?
Yeah.
Did you hear her, Chanel? She is crazy.
Well, we knew that, but she's our
Yeah.
friend.
But
She's
she's our
crazy.
friend. But she's our friend. She's crazy, but she's our friend.
Mm. Okay. You guys ready to deep dive into this?
I'm so ready.
Okay. So it starts out, we meet Aurelia, Solus, I believe is. I listened to Jillian's pronunciation video on Reels like 8 times to try to make sure I don't mess this up, but now I'm so in my head to get it right. So if I mess anything up, I'm so sorry. Corrections, but yeah. We meet Aurelia. We learn pretty quickly. Um, she's a goddess and she is untouched for over 200 years. I think it's like 275. We learn pretty quickly with her interaction with King Typhon, who is her adopted father, that her mother was killed by a demoni at birth, and she was bitten, which normally would kill a god. It's really, it can be fatal to gods. She survived somehow, and now she has the power of basically creation and destruction within her at all times. And so no one ever touches her because she has touched things before and it turns to ash.
Which is what a crazy power to have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what two crazy powers to have.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. This, I mean, it's set up very beautifully so that it doesn't feel like this information is just like necessarily handed to you. It's the day her mother died. She's um not celebrating, trying to spend the day with herself. Remember it. She's at this tree. There's this raven watching her, and she's supposed to have this day to herself. And the king comes, and I could tell right off the bat that he was going to be an asshole just from how he was
Yes.
acting.
Yeah.
Block that.
Clocked it. He has like these giant angel wings. He's the king of light, like that's his kingdom. And he has this burning bright power, and when she gets angry, the way and she's going to release any of this dark magic, the way he tries to cleanse her is by releasing his white light magic, whatever,
Mhm.
and it pretty much like burns it away, burns this darkness, these shadows away. So
And her. It's
yeah, and
like,
her. So instantly I was like, oh, well, fuck him. I don't like that. So we kind of get that. Can you just imagine? I was just like stepping back. Can you imagine someone not physically touching you like for any extended amount of time like that? I'm such a
I mean,
hugger. I can't
I
imagine
am
it.
not, I,
I know you're not a
physical
hugger.
touch is not, it's like low on my love language. So I'm like
Mm.
not opposed to, but
You're like, oh, I love it.
I mean, I like physical touch, but only from certain people.
yeah,
Mm.
I don't
yeah,
know. Like you
yeah,
guys can hug me and stuff, but if it's somebody I don't like, hug me.
yeah, yeah. Like I said,
Yeah,
it's okay. It's not my favorite. It's not
It's
my,
okay.
okay.
Well,
I'm
it's my favorite. So
I
it's
like
not my favorite,
quality
but
time. So like I like people being around me, but like
mhm.
I need a bubble. You know what
So
I
no,
mean?
I'm in your bubble, so I don't even care.
Yeah, you pop that bubble a lot.
I do.
We forced our way in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I don't think it's the
Um,
worst thing ever.
yeah, so everyone's kind of afraid of her. So on top of not having this physical touch, people are just apprehensive in general to be around her because they're so unsure of this power inside of her. So she's very just very stigmatized. People kind of stay away. Um, we so pretty soon after meeting her, then we're introduced to Renwick, who is the love of my life. He is this First of all, he's the raven who's watching her in the tree, which I guessed in my head. I was like, man, I really hope that's him.
Hmm.
Just like what? Which he's not necessarily watching her. I think he is subconsciously after reading the book, but he's trying to keep an eye. King Typhon's his brother. So his brother is the king of this realm of light, of life. And we learn that Renwick or Ren, I call him Ren a lot because I like that nickname that she gives him in the book. Ren controls Infernus, which is the underworld. There's definitely like a Hades and Persephone parallel for the book, which
Hmm.
I'm fucking obsessed with. Um, and there's been this battle. We learn from King Typhon's point of view. They have this broke my heart, but they have Ren's wings, his beautiful, like
Hmm.
black wings mounted above the mantle in this room, which again I think speaks volumes about King Typhon's character
Uh-huh.
to display such a thing. Like this, just another a subtle hint of what's to come with his brutality, I think. Um, and I love that Aurelia sees them, and she doesn't say this out loud to anyone, but she says how beautiful she thinks they are. These like midnight black wings
Hmm.
that he has lost that are hanging up there. Um, So we just get like a little introduction to him, his wings. He can turn into a raven to watch the kingdom. They're at this, two brothers who are essentially at war, but not fighting actively, but they're always at odds. And the one of the big reasons they're at odds is because Aurelia's mother's killed by this Damani who came from Infernus. And Aurelia has been told that her mother was getting kidnapped to go to Infernus from King Typhon and was essentially, trigger warning for our viewers if they're uncomfortable with it. But basically, that she was assaulted, and that's how Aurelia has come to be. And King Typhon is this amazing adopted father who still took her in, even though it's not by
His
blood
daughter.
his child. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you for saying that because I think that's really important to get the
Hmm.
because it can be a little confusing because Aurelia speaks about King Typhon like as her father and then it's supposed to be
Yes.
the brother of Ren. So like
Uh-huh.
to me it took a I mean
Mhm.
once you get it because Jillian does a great job of explaining it. But I
Hmm.
was like, oh, this is how the actual family tree is
Mhm.
that
Hmm.
Aurelia is not physically related to King Typhon at all.
Mhm.
No, not at all.
So
Yeah.
anyway, sorry, go on.
No, no, you're good. So, the king's son is back from being away. He has gotten married to his partner, which I love, a male on male relationship. So he's married to, I really like when there's like representations in
Hmm.
books
Yeah,
and it
yeah,
feels, it feels
Natural.
natural. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So anyway, there's
felt
this big
natural.
natural and this and because basically there's no humans right now. This whole world we're working in right now, so if people haven't read the book, read it before you listen to this episode, but because there's spoilers everywhere, obviously we're deep diving, but basically there's no humans to be found. This is pretty much all the characters we're talking about are some kind of like demigod god being.
Hmm.
So we're at this dinner. Cast
Caston.
yes.
Gaston, yeah.
He is actually pretty close with Aurelia, looks at her as a sister. King Typhon, it is his son. It's
Yes.
like a celebration for they're married. Now I'm thinking, was it their engagement? No, they're married. They're married.
Was it that I don't remember if they were getting married or married. I just know they're like in love.
It's a celebration for, yeah, basically them
For love.
for
For
love.
love.
And they're talking about this war with Renwick and these battles and things that are happening. And Aurelia wants to be helpful. She's like, I have this power. It just kind of comes up. Usually she keeps it to herself, but at dinner she brings up, I could be helpful. Like, I have this power. And the king is like, no, you can't control it. He wants to keep her in the castle, in the keep. And basically he says something to her to stop her from talking. Like, this is, you killed your mother. And with this power, you
Yeah,
can't
he
control
says
it.
that. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
And
Yikes.
because he says it, it just like, which can you imagine, of course, it sets this emotional like bomb off inside of her, and all of her magic's released. She can't control it and ends up killing Caston's husband in the process. And she just takes off from, she's so upset. She's upset that King Typhon said that. She's upset that she's hurt people and killed Caston's husband because she really loves Caston, like that's her brother. And she's trying to escape, and she realizes she doesn't really know where she's going. She can't, there's wards keeping her in to um King Typhon's castle, and basically she's calling for help, and Renwick is there. He can sense her magic. It like calls to him, and he helps her escape pretty much. And she's so upset. She's like, you know what? Going with you, even though you're supposed to be this terrible underlord, it sounds way better than being stuck back there with those
Mhm.
fucking people. So she goes with him, and he takes her to Infernus. So then we get to Infernus, which I just love because I know it's probably not. You guys tell me if you thought the same thing. I just pictured the scene in Hercules when Hades is in the boat, and it's all the
The
people.
amount of times I pictured Hercules reading this book, Stacy.
Because
Sorry,
he
go on.
takes no, because he's taken her like in the classic Greek mythology for the underworld. Like,
Yeah, like going down. I know you.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're going down.
The river Styx. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going in, and so it's like these souls, and it speaks a lot about their interactions already. One, because her magic was calling to him before, so he came. But the first thing, this part really stuck with me in the book. She sees these souls in the water. It looks like they're reaching towards the boat they're in as they're going to Infernus. And she says to Renwick, she's like, "Are they in pain?" And he makes this comment. He doesn't say it to her. He thinks it. He was like, it's curious because that's the first thing her father, her biological father, said when he saw the souls in the boat too, which we'll get into more later. It's just like a thought that that Gillian puts in there when you read it. Like, this is obviously going to come up again, who her real father
Mm,
is.
mm.
Um, so she gets down there. We get introduced to the area. The castle's made of bones, which is very cool to me, but I'm sure very intense if you're not used to that kind of stuff. And I was like, is it me? No.
No.
Um, and then sorry. Hold on. Can we pause here for just 1 second, guys?
Mhm.
You can sit here on my lap. Do you not cry? You gotta be quiet. You gotta be quiet. Are you gonna be quiet?
I love that she said, can we pause, but she didn't mute her microphone so we can hear her yelling at her kids. I'm leaving it in the podcast.
No.
He just
Don't
wants to
leave it
look for a
in.
second while we talk. You promise to be quiet?
Sissy, don't yell at him. Ashley's here, by the way, too. Hold on.
Come here.
Pause.
He wants to say hi to Aunt Chanel. Chanel, look, he's a bug catcher. Okay, you got to be quiet though, okay? Okay. Chanel, I'm gonna do this summary so good that you won't need to read it. You can just read the second book, okay?
Yeah, yeah,
And see,
yeah.
now Ashley has to cut it out because she can't leave this part in. Can you say hi, Aunt Chanel? Hi, Aunt Ashley. You say hi, Chanel. He said, it.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, my love.
Hi.
Okay, but remember, you got to be quiet when mom talks, okay?
No, let Ashley sit down. Down.
Okay, I've realized how long my notes are. I'm gonna try to I know this is kind of back to our old format, but I kind of miss it when we just talked about stuff with the summary. So that's kind of how I went with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Wondering because it did feel more like our old episodes.
I know, and I thought I wanted to get away from it, but for the book episodes, it kind of works a little bit,
Yeah.
Whenever the Ashleys are ready.
The time that we would do
What, Bubba?
the
Oh, yeah, they're
summaries.
charging. They're charging. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay, we're ready.
Yeah.
Okay, so we get to our Infernus, and it's just like you would imagine the underworld at first. The castle's made of bones, the souls in the water she walks through. She's very nervous, as one would be. She's been told her whole life that Renwick is this horrible, brutal ruler, and
And now his castle's made out of bones.
yeah, everyone should be scared. So, but he's very kind. He gives her her own room. And then we learn, as soon as she gets in this room, and she instantly likes it, it's very cozy, as a mansion's beautiful tower room can look as it overlooks, these gorgeous views, was that it was actually made and designed for her mother. So I
Mhm.
like these little hints that we get about what's when we learn really what was going on with her parents. But um so during this, she meets a soul, who I just listened to how to pronounce this name, so let me know if I do it right. Citero?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think if I'm incorrect, I'll listen again. We'll make correction. But this character goes by they, them as non-binary, which I love. And so we learn that this is a soul that is loyal to and a friend to King Renwick. Used to be a warrior for him and now helps with the castle and different things. And this character is helping Aurelia get settled. Um, shows her rooms and telling her about the kingdom. She mentions her first night that she should not trust what she's heard about King Renwick and this kingdom and stuff, which she's still
This is one of
apprehensive.
this is one of my favorite characters
Oh
from
yeah.
the book,
Mhm.
just because they are so present and just like a calming presence for Aurelia, and
Mhm.
you just really like them. So
Yeah. So okay, hold on, pause. Okay, Bubba, go play with Dad now. You got to be quiet. Go on. You
no,
want to
listen,
be
you guys
so.
don't have to make me actually edit this episode. It's
I'm so sorry.
ridiculous. You
What do you
making me
want
do
to
my
take with you?
job.
Here. You want the
I'm just
wood?
kidding.
Okay, take your net. Okay, here. There you go. Take it. Go show Dad. What do you want? You want this? Okay, go give it to Dad. You can have one. You can only have one. Go tell Dad. Okay.
And action.
And also one of my favorite characters, just very caring. Cidero's very caring, but not isn't like forcing it like, hey, everything you've been told is a lie, just kind of planting the seed so that Aurelia can get to this decision by herself. So the next day she's learning more about, well, I kind of jumped ahead of it, but the interactions with her and Renwick in the beginning are hilarious because you can tell a lot of people don't stand up to him. I mean, he's this huge, imposing god. She slaps him like twice within the first 30 minutes of meeting him, just like fucking slaps him right in the face.
I'm
It's
telling you,
amazing.
I could not picture Tom Hiddleston the whole time during this book. Like, it is just him. Oh wait,
Yeah.
I'm not. I thought I was wearing my sweatshirt like that, but I'm not. It's my Harry Potter sweatshirt.
I
You're
wore that
full
last
here.
night. I was wearing that last night.
I
Uh,
know.
I just
Now
love it
that's my
because
boy.
every time she would slap him, I would think he's falling in love with her more and more. Every
Mm-hmm.
time. And we see these like sparks of this fire she has come out. So she slaps him a couple times. She goes toe to toe with him. She is afraid, but she's not, if that makes sense. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's just not taking a shit, which is just funny because she's been taking shit from people her whole life. And then she meets Ren and and she's like, I'm not taking it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it. So then the next day, she's being shown around the kingdom, these different areas. We get to this field, and I pictured it like the field in Gladiator. You know what I'm talking about when he's walking through all the wheat in his hands. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, Stacey. I didn't even
At,
think about that, but yeah.
at the
I
end.
Don't make
yes,
me cry.
that's what I pictured. I hope Jillian listens to this and she can say how wrong or how correct all my like visual cues from Hercules and Gladiator are when I was reading this. But that's how I picture the field. But she goes to this
Yikes.
field. It's called the Field of Paralis, I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
That's how
And
I was saying it.
yeah, she's with Sidro, and basically she helps this soul that's there crying. She's told by Sidro, basically, you don't interact with them. There's these different areas and stages in this kingdom, how souls process through trauma and their grief to move on, and then their magic eventually can be released back into the kingdom, into the universe, which I thought was very interesting.
Mm-hmm. It
But
was
she's
almost like, sorry,
no,
it's
go
almost
ahead.
kind of like a Buddhist type, like, isn't
Hmm.
like way to think about life and afterlife. And I don't know, I kind of
It's
liked
funny
that
because
whole
I was
thing.
thinking it was more like Catholic, where they have like purgatory. Like they believe like in
Mm,
heaven and hell, but they think before you get to heaven, there's like a purgatory, like place where your soul goes to
yeah.
like a middle ground, and then you move on
Yeah,
to heaven or
Hmm.
hell,
that's true.
whatever. But
I think,
but I didn't think of like a Buddhist way too. I guess there's multiple religions have it. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
yeah, I
anyway.
mean, that definitely does seem Catholic. I meant more, am I jumping ahead? Didn't you just say this? I meant more of like when they're done in that part of like the in between,
Hmm.
and then it's like it's not reincarnation, it's just like their energy
Yeah.
comes back.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
Their
like, I'm
magic
say,
energy gets released back in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which
Yeah.
let me rephrase this because I'm saying I think it's Buddhist, but I only know that from The Good Place, the TV show. Like, I think that's what it is. Like, because they talk about it, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's. I'll have to like look it up to make sure I'm not lying, but I think that's kind
I
of.
thought it was
Yeah.
Hinduism as reincarnation. I don't know.
Yeah, this isn't reincarnation. It's because it's not like your.
Yeah.
It's not
Getting
your
turned into something else.
soul.
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
just like your energy. So you're like your
gotcha.
thought and like your person and all
Hmm.
of this is not, it's just like your energy of a person is put back into.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not explaining it well or using my words well, but
No,
yeah.
you're fine. You're fine. I'm
Watch the end of
also
the good place, and that's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
I'm personally enjoying. I'm enjoying all the different things we're pulling
I
into
was gonna say,
this.
yeah, we're making so many like metaphors that it's getting lost.
We're
It's
watering, we're like, we're making it too much here.
Mhm.
yeah,
Doesn't sound like us.
I know. Okay, good.
So she sees a soul crying, is upset, and she's told that this is the natural order. They must conquer this alone, and then however long it takes, and they can move on. Well, she's in her head, she's like, fuck that. Like, she thinks I would want someone to comfort me. So she goes, it's really beautiful. And also, I'm picturing like the field and gladiator. So it's like even more beautiful. But she basically goes to this soul that, and when I say soul, it looks just like a regular person, goddess, whatever. Like they're very corporal, the form's corporal. She can touch them. She gives, the soul a hug and is like, I'm here. I'm here with you, and cries with her. And she moves on, like she moves on to the next stage in Furnace. And Sidro was like blown away because we learned that normally, and how long that this specific person's soul has been here can take years. And basically, she has sped up this process by
Mhm.
years. Um, this comfort that she has shown this person. So then that's really interesting because her empathy is a power too. Her empathy of wanting to do good and help people because no one was there to do that for her. So that was cool. And so Renwick gets pissed because he just doesn't understand at first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he sees this and we don't he doesn't know for sure that it's a good thing that this has sped up a process for this person. And he very much cares for his people, his kingdom, these souls. Like he cares what happens to them. So he's kind of pissed at first and they go toe to toe again. And she's like, whatever, like I feel good. Just because something has been done this way the whole time doesn't mean that it's the correct way. Which mic drop life quote, like
I was
so
yeah,
true,
yeah.
very
Uh-huh.
applicable.
Don't we hear
So
that in healthcare all the time?
yeah. So then that night, Aurelia is woken from her chambers by someone calling out to her. And it sounds like even though she's never met her mother, it's her, like, she's like, this is my mother calling out to me, like her voice. So and instantly I'm like, girl, what are you thinking right now?
I
So
know.
she leaves the castle to follow this voice that's asking for help, and that she thinks is her mother, and it's a Damani there that's luring her out of the castle, and she's been so sheltered her whole life. She has no idea that they even have this ability to like lure people out with voices and stuff. And this is the first time we get to really see Ren come with his giant axe and just like fuck
I
shit
thought you were
up.
gonna say ass for some reason. I don't know.
He's giant
His giant
ass.
axe. And he kills this thing, and he's very upset because she could have got hurt. And so he's being pretty stern with her, and she's like, I heard my mother's voice, and she's upset and crying. And then he realizes like she has been so sheltered, no one's taught her how to use her magic, no one's told her anything about her parents. Like, he is pissed, but then he's like, can I be pissed that she's so sheltered that she has no idea? And
Mm-hmm.
then at one point, I don't know if it's this exact same, but he's pretty much telling her, like, you need to come into your power. You need to learn more. Like, this is, King Typhon's obviously kept you this way for a reason, so sheltered and unknowing. And um, yeah. And so the next day, she's out again, on the grounds exploring, and we can see that she is growing things, because that's in the very first chapter. I don't know if I said this. The king, in the very beginning, the king wanted her to go help the trees bloom and produce fruit, because she's creation and destruction, so she can create all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she's there, and things that don't grow in Infernus, in the underworld, she's causing things to bloom, and it's beautiful. And Ren
I
sees
loved
this.
this.
I
I
know.
loved this.
He sees it, and he's like, wow, she's changing this place, and not, and for the good, like for better. Um, which is very interesting for we see for Renwick, because he loves his kingdom, but his soul has been torn apart over the millennia that he's been alive, because he can't die. That he feels very distant from his emotions, and he has for a really long time, and just kind of stuck in this rut, this Groundhog's Day of his life. And now here comes this little petite, fiery, don't give a shit, I will slap you if you're rude goddess. And she's like growing things in his land and helping these souls. And so,
Slapping him.
yeah, slapping him, healing him and the land. Beautiful. We love to see
Mm-hmm.
it. Yeah. And so she's given, Renwick gives her father's journal. So then Renwick is trying to tell her pretty much everything you've heard is a lie that's happened with your birth, with your family. Your dad was not someone who kidnapped your mom and assaulted her. They were in love. Like, you need to read this. This is his journal about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
At first she doesn't want to read it. She thinks it's all lies, and slowly she comes around and she reads it, and we learn that her mother and her father's name is Zephyrus, I believe is how you pronounce it. And he lived in Infernus, and her mom was married to Lord Typhon, but he was always cheating on her, and he was a son of a bitch, and she was gonna
Well, he was. He like had a
he
bunch of
was.
mistress always running around, like lived in the kingdom and stuff. Like they were married, but they weren't in love or anything.
Mhm. He had like a harem, like, and he's not nice, wasn't nice to her. And so basically they were planning on, she was going to run away to live in Infernus with Aurelia's real father.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just sad because they were in love, like, with each other. Yeah. And so during all this, we know that King Typhon does want Aurelia back, because he views her as a weapon. Not He wants to control her because he knows how powerful she is, and that's why he's always tried to neutralize her power and keep her sheltered, is to like hide how powerful she is. So
Mm-hmm.
we get a new character introduced. Alistair shows up, who is in King Typhon's like inner circle, I guess is what you would say. And he shows up to like kidnap her and bring her back, and he stabs her.
He's like the god of storms or something, right?
Yeah, he controls storms, weather. And Renwick is pissed because
I
obviously
mean,
because
like
she
she kind of makes him stab her.
yes.
Like
It's
he
just
didn't want to. Like this
he
guy, this
didn't.
poor idiot is just like along for the
Mhm.
ride and trying to like it's all self-serving or whatever. But then
Yes.
like I mean, he wasn't gonna stab her. She like pushes herself on this dagger.
Yeah. Pretty much like you're not gonna do it. And he was like,
Yeah.
no, I wasn't gonna do it. And, like,
He wasn't.
so he gets stabbed. Renwick's pissed. He's gonna kill him because I
Yeah.
mean, he falls in love. You can kind of tell that like he's obsessed with her pretty instantly.
Like
And
he falls first.
yeah. So while she's getting treatment for this stab wound, we learn that Alistair actually is part of Renwick's inner circle,
Yes.
that he's kind of like this double agent. His side story is so sad, actually. Just real quick, I mean, it's so beautiful. I'm not going to do it justice, but the real quick and dirty is we learned that Alistair was with King Typhon's inner circle. He fell in love with a human woman, and he thinks that this random demigod person killed her to take her away from him. And so he then goes to Infernus so that he can see her soul, see her since she is
Hmm.
passed. And that's how he becomes close with Ren. But we learn later on, basically, that of course she was killed by King Typhon because he's a son of a bitch, and
That's just his
he,
new name.
that's his
He's
new
his
name. And
Middle
poor
name.
Alistair
middle name.
killed this demigod, thinking that that's who killed his beloved. And God, he sucks so bad. King Typhon
And
sucks so bad.
he killed her because she wouldn't like be one of his mistresses.
Yeah, like one of his mistresses in the heart. He told her no. Told King Typhon no. Yeah.
She did, yeah.
So yeah.
Mhm.
So we end up actually liking Alistair's character. It's very layered. But yeah, basically King Typhon just fucks everyone over and ruins their life. Yeah. And then we also learn, you know, Ren and Aurelia have become closer. So he brings her to this mountain to tell her pretty much the truth about her bite because she has this scar from this Damani bite. And we learn that because he's just like, it's time. Like she's had the journal, she's been here for a little bit. This thing with Alistair happened. We basically learned that the Damani that bit her is Renwick's. Like
The
it's his like
three-headed dog.
it's his three-headed dog. Yeah, it's his pet.
Which is
And
what is that dog's name?
I didn't put it in my notes. I'm so pissed.
But it's like the common dog that like guards the underworld.
Yeah.
It's like in all of the
Oh,
Greek mythology. I can't
Yeah.
think of his name now.
Sybarit?
yeah.
No.
Cyprus.
Cyprus, right?
Yeah.
Cerberus. Thank God
Cerberus.
Ashley's back here.
Yeah, Ashley 2.0 is back there, thank God. So she's pissed, but he's trying to tell her, he's like, it wasn't supposed to be like that. Like the only reason it was up there was to try to all this happened when he was trying to get them out of the kingdom. This is like one of the final things that happened this 275 years ago that ripped his soul apart because he could not save her mother and he could not save his
I thought
Zephyrus,
I
which
thought
is
he
his,
put
like his
the
best friend.
I thought he put the dog out there to get King Typhon. Typhon, however you say his
Yeah,
name.
that's what I'm saying. It was like
Oh
there to
yeah.
help them escape. Yeah. It biting her was not the intention
You
of.
know who
And
I feel bad
everything
for?
backfired.
Yeah.
I feel
Who?
bad for this dog. Okay. Obviously, this poor dog loves Ren and is a good
Yes.
dog. Like it sits there and I'm like, I hope this dog has like a big part in the second book because you don't see the dog again after this. And I'm like, I feel bad for this dog. He's just doing what he thought he should do. And Aurelia hates him. And it's just a sweet dog.
Doing,
Just sweet dog.
doing what he was told to do.
He's like,
Such a
I'm
good
literally,
pup.
yeah, I'm literally doing what I was told to do.
He
Getting
was.
punished.
He was punished. Um, so she takes that information and then finally, this is like one of my like favorite lighthearted parts in the book is we get a dinner with, the Infernus inner circle, I guess is what you would say. So it's Ren, Aurelia, Alistair's there, Sidro's there, some other characters I haven't mentioned that are great are all these they're joining together for a dinner, and she loves it because they sit at this round table. They all feel like equals versus all the dinners she's had with King Typhon, where he's like the head. It's very formal kind of thing. And she's having a good time. And then we meet a new character, Morana, I believe is how you say it.
That's how I was
Morana.
saying it.
Yeah. And she's the god of night. And basically they just say she's, I mean, they don't say, I mean, they say the best translation for how powerful she is and what she does is she's the god of night. And she can have like prophecies and see kind of into the future. And she makes some kind of like subtle hints about Aurelia and Renwick at dinner. And it's really interesting and, funny because Aurelia is still fighting it. And she's like, well, what do you mean? And, we're like, well, of course, like he's your beloved right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Because the sexual tension is
At the dinner, it's like at a boiling point at the dinner, the
because it's
tension.
the library next.
Oh, library's next. Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah.
It's
Like
always
there's
the
tension.
library.
Mhm.
I mean, I always want it to be the library. Also, for the library scene, I always think of like if there's a good library scene, I think of Atonement. Oh my God. Even though this has
Oh,
literally not even the same thing, just like the vibes from Atonement and that
I
green
thought you were
dress in the
gonna say you
library.
think of is it the auction?
Oh,
Is it
oh, that's a good one
is that
too.
the
Is
auction?
it? No, I don't remember.
Yeah.
A lot of
Yes.
library stuff happens in Draco
Right,
Hermione.
because that's when they're
Yeah.
researching, right?
Yeah.
The auction, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
you're right,
great
you're right.
library scene.
Hmm.
Gosh, I've read so
So
many fan fiction. I'm like trying to remember which one.
try to keep them all straight. Um, yeah, so then after, so the dinner is just great. The sexual tension, like there's like a lot of, again, I love writing like this because a lot of like detail to like where hands are, knees are, like thighs, words, like touches
Yeah,
happening
you
at the
always say the
dinner.
hand placement.
Hand placement got me feeling some type of way. We are treated at this part in the book, just treated with a plethora of amazing, spicy moments next. The tension is to a boiling point so high that we get the library scene, which is incredible. Ashley, are you ready? Chanel, are you ready?
Chanel's
Mhm.
ready.
Yeah.
Basically, they both, which I love, they're both like so overwhelmed with how they're feeling turned on from each other. Instead of going to their rooms, they both go to the library without knowing it because why would you not? And Aurelia catches him helping himself to himself, thinking about her,
Oh, I like that, Stacey. Helping himself to himself.
which I
Because,
love.
like, why wouldn't you do that in a public area?
And when it's
Library.
happening in a public area and you see it, why would you just not? I mean, obviously, I would keep watching too. She watches the whole thing and he says her name out loud, and
Well,
I
she
And
doesn't
died.
just watch him, Stacey. She starts helping herself to help herself
Yeah.
too.
She's helping herself to help herself while he helps himself to help
I know, I'm like,
himself.
you both have a room, a
They don't need
private
it.
room.
I want in the, no, I like the library setting. Love it,
I mean,
love it,
I
love
like it
it.
too, but it's just funny. He's like, oh, should I go to my room? No, I'm gonna go to the library.
I love
Uh-huh.
it. The writing is exquisite for these scenes with the library. We get a couple of good spicy scenes. There's in the library, against the walls of the palace, some other places. Ren is a giver. The writing's incredible. I mean, the writing's incredible in the whole book, but
He's
especially
a
with the spicy scenes,
giver.
so
Her
great. Yeah,
smut writing is top tier.
top
And
tier. Hmm.
she writes really well, like the desire and the longing, and then the
Hmm.
actual scenes when it happens, you're not disappointed.
It's
Yeah.
like well balanced.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very well balanced. That's how I would say. Very well balanced.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
because you don't like it when it's like there's so much smut, it takes away from the plot. But then you also
Hmm.
don't like it when they build up the plots and get the tension going, and then like just there's just like one little scene or something,
And
and
it's
you're
not
like
like well written or
not
anything.
well
Yeah.
written. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just this part in the book is really great because we finally get to this tipping point where she understands she's been lied to her whole life. They're falling for each other. She wants to help. She's falling for the kingdom too. Like she cares about its people. She's learning more about this process that the souls go through. There's different stages, different places. They all mean different things. She's helping things grow. There's a scene where they go to visit this village that's full of souls that are processing these people. That's usually very quiet, and their they're mumbling or she can hear them saying certain things under their breath. And we don't know what it is at first. It's Infernus's language, this old language, which I love. We learn later on, spoiler alert, that they're saying my queen when they see her. When they see him, they say my king. And she basically goes to this area in this town and she grows an olive tree where nothing has ever grown. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets to speak to the soul that she helped process in the field again, and they thank her for helping and everything. It's very cool, very interesting to see not only this love grow for Ren, but this love for the kingdom. And she realizes it's nothing like she's been told, you know.
I like that. A love for the
Yeah.
kingdom too. Yeah.
hmm So then
Yeah,
of course,
she really is falling in love
hmm
with the kingdom.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then she gets to see more that, you know, this isn't just some king who sits on a throne and punishes souls. Like, this is a king that really cares about these people that he's trying to help process this
Mhm.
trauma and things of life that have happened. And so, in the background of all of this coming, we still see notes and attempts of King Typhon trying to get Aurelia back, telling her, like, he sent a note at one point, a few chat, like, and closer to the beginning, about how everything will be forgiven if she comes home and all this stuff. And um, there's another kidnapping attempt. And
Mm-hmm.
when it's happening, you know, they capture this person who's trying to get her. It's from King Typhon's land. And basically they're like interrogating him. He's an asshole, this person who was trying to kidnap her. And we get to see Aurelia's power. It's glorious. She just touches his face with her bare hands and he just turns to ash, like, in front of them. It's
Harry Potter
amazing.
style.
It's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, dude.
Yes.
You could like Chamber of Secrets.
Yes.
Or sorry, the Sorcerer's Stone.
But yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I love that. In my head, I was like, please burn them all. These people who try to, I just like it because it could have very easily been written that Ren saves her and like gets rid of this person, but instead, you know, she's like, I can take care of myself and I'm going to take care of this. And everyone's like super impressed, like, oh my God, this is
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So then that happens. And then this part is really great. So she's been learning and training. She was training with Ren at first, and then after some things happened, she gets kind of freaked out with, like, you know, them becoming closer physically. So then um Morana, the god of night, is helping train her next. And then she was, you know, to get into her powers. And one of the reasons she can't control them is because she hasn't accepted them yet.
Mm-hmm.
So she
She's like
goes,
fighting it.
yeah, she fights it really hard. So Ren takes her to this mountain and he was like, okay, if you basically you need to like greet this darkness and you meet it. And so she does. She does like this thing where she's opening herself up to this darkness and her this destruction. And this part was so cool and I really didn't see it coming. She meets this woman, this god, and who's helping her like greet the darkness in her, I guess. And we learn that it's Ren's mother,
Mm-hmm.
which is really beautiful. It's Ren's mother who,
Who her story's crazy too.
yeah, her story's crazy tragic too, but it's Ren's mother helping her and basically come into control of her powers. And we learn, this is kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but basically, um, Ren's mother and father did not get along, and it's hard to explain because they're gods and not all of them die. She's not dead, but she's like in this tree now, like her magic, her spirit, I guess. And we also learned that when Aurelia was bitten by the Damani, way like when, you know, super little, it was the reason she lived was actually Ren's mom was taking care of her and like singing to her and keep, you know, helping her because Aurelia remembers the song and tells Ren. It's really beautiful. Like, it's a really full circle, beautiful moment when we realize that even from the very beginning, Infernus has been like helping Aurelia, this kingdom. It's you know, the people who are in charge of it. So that was really cool. And then let me see. Oh, excuse me. And so then we get back to Alistair gets sprinkled back in. So I know we talked about how I told you guys earlier about his love. Her name was Josette. We learned that King Typhon, what really happened, this is the part in the story when we learn that he really has just been killing everyone and like killed her because she was refusing him, and then pretty much told Alistair that's not what happened. And so we just learn more about how terrible he is. And then this was really beautiful because I have felt sad from the beginning because the only person she was really close to in King Typhon's kingdom was Caston. He shows back up. He's made it through Infernus to find her, and he's actually shot with a golden arrow. So we learned that his own father had him attacked.
Trying to kill him.
Yeah, it was literally because he doesn't care. You know what I mean? Um, was trying to kill him. And so this was nice because Aurelia and him have this moment where they're reunited, and he says he's so sad she left because not only did he lose his husband, he lost his sister that day because she ran away. There's really nothing to forgive. Like, you know, she didn't mean for anything bad to happen, like ill will to happen towards them. And then one of the most beautiful parts is we get the soul bond between Renwick and Aurelia, which is beautiful. One of my favorite chapters, I think, when they're like speaking it to each other and they're saying it in the language, you know, my king, my queen together. It's really powerful, beautiful moment. And basically it sets up for the final book for the next one. You know, she soul bonded with Renwick. She's found her mate. Everything in their lives have pretty much been like building towards this. They've like helped repair this damage with each other, and they want to protect this kingdom and its people. And they're gonna fuck shit up with King Typhon. So, um, you know, they're planning this thing where basically, you know, Renwick's nervous about it, but she's gonna go back to the kingdom with Caston and kind of pretend, I guess the plan would be to kind of pretend like everything's normal and infiltrate from the inside. So it's setting up for this big war that's going to happen for the next book. And yeah. So that's pretty much, I guess you would say, book one, part one.
It's amazing.
Leaves it on a little bit of a cliffhanger because it literally ends with her going back.
Yes.
And then it's like curtain. So and that is Ruin, book one. Bow, bow, bow.
So bad.
It's amazing. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I said, my notes are so much more detailed in the beginning, so I was taking my time. But like I'm telling you, the last, the last like 200 page, like 100 whatever pages it was, I don't remember now. I'm just like blowing through it because so much is happening. It's so interesting. So everyone, make sure you read it. Check it out. It's so great.
And I'm looking up specifically when Reckoning's coming out.
So I just love how I love the full circle moments in it where with Aurelia's dad and her mom, and then the full circle moment with Renwick's mother and how she has been helping keep Aurelia safe, you know, the best she could when she was bitten. And now I just know Aurelia is going to go and help keep Infernus safe and protect it with her mate.
Reckoning comes out on April 29th.
Can't wait.
Obviously, we're in 2025 now. So yay.
Yeah. Love it. Great job, Stace.
Thanks. Great job, Gillian. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
So excited. We're so excited to read the second one. Yay.
Yeah, and like I said, just the overall writing of the vibes of it's great. How Infernus is written and described in the different areas. Like I said, it would take too long to deep dive into all of it and all the side characters and stuff, but it's lush with detail and great side stories and yeah, things to come and setting it up. And Ashley's really hoping that the dog's in it for part 2.
I am.
Like, don't even care about the main characters, just make sure the dog's okay.
We need it, okay? Sorry, I got sniffly towards the end. I do not know why.
I know you already said it, but what do you rate it?
Oh yeah, your smutting story level.
Yeah. 5 out of 5 all the way around. 10 out of
Yep.
10 would recommend for all of it. Check, check, check. It checked all of my boxes. The plot is very well thought out. You can tell that the writer took their time to get the worlds thought out, the characters thought out. There's a depth there, there's humor there. You know, I've said this before with other things that she's written. The trauma isn't just like glossed over and like fixed in 5 pages, like it's present there and how they fix it. And I was, you know, I was feeling some type of way reading the smut. So
I know
Well,
we didn't even touch
amazing.
on all of it, but like people are
mhm.
sitting on people's faces at one point, and
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
amazing.
when we talked with her about this, and then you kind of, mentioned it a few times. I mean, she invented a whole language. She
Yeah.
talked to us in our interview about how she kind of invented this language, and that was such an interesting process. So, I mean, like you said, it goes to the depth of thought and planning, which goes to show that she's such a good writer. So, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I
I
I think I
um
agree.
I have a few quotes if you guys want to hear them that I've saved that I've just wanted to
Mhm.
like sprinkle in on the end if you guys like. Okay. So this is I don't have the exact pages written out, but this is the first time that she sees Renwick in person after she's like running out of the castle in the beginning. She says, I had known him from the moment I saw him with his moon pale skin, sharp cheekbones, and wavy black hair that curled around his collarbones. I would have called him beautiful if I had not known the depravity of violence that lurked beneath. And then this, I love anything to do with hands and books and movies, whatever. This was like right after she sees him for the first time. It says, out of the corner of my eye, he flexed his hand as if he too had felt the spark, like the first time they touch each other. 10 out of 10 just for that quote right there. 10 out of 10.
I have all my notes too, or all my quotes too. So go ahead.
Well, do you want to read some in case take all yours? I mean, I
So let me go towards, I guess, let me go in order because I read my book on Kindle and I like highlighted so I went so it puts
yeah,
it in order. It's nice. Um, well, I highlighted a lot where she references ruin like from the book and like one of the first
yeah.
times she says, "If you do not find control, you'll bring ruin to us all."
Mm.
Hmm.
I wonder what it meant that darkness and death lived inside of me as surely as light and prosperity did.
Hmm. Love, love.
Um, Magic called to magic and mine rushed through what was left of my soul.
Oh,
I think
Ren.
that's Renwick talking
That's
about.
Renwick. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because his soul is like not whole when he first meets her. She helps, yeah, repair it.
Oh, this is if Typhon was the blinding light of the sun, then Caston was the warmth, all the kindness and sweetness, talking about her brother.
Isn't that so sweet? Yeah. One of the other parts I like, there's a scene when she's in Infernus where someone kneels to her. I can't remember who it is at first. The first one who kneels to Aurelia. I almost want to say Alistair, but now I can't remember. But Renwick says this, like in his head. Yet I had wanted to be the one to help her find her strength. I needed to be the one to witness her finally realize how powerful she was. To watch what would happen when she realized the world would bend a knee to her will. I wanted to be the first to kneel. I was
Hmm.
like, fuck, yes.
I have a quote kind of like that. He talks about kneeling. I
I was
kneel
like, yeah,
before your
Stacy loves
altar,
it when a
ready
guy
for
kneels.
worship.
Oh, say it again, Ash. I do love when people kneel.
I
Hmm.
kneel before your altar, ready for worship. And that's when he's talking about Aurelia. I like almost dropped my phone.
I am unwell. I am unwell. I just like leaned back too fast when Ashley said that, and I almost like saw spots because I was so dizzy. I'm not kidding. Um,
Love it when a guy kneels.
we love it.
What
Oh,
else?
so at one of the first times, when she goes to train with the God of Night instead of him, after some things have happened, like in the library, and she gets nervous, then they're like, she doesn't talk to him for like a week. And when they finally talk again, he said, this is Ren. He says, it looks like you are night incarnate, the stars in the sky, the power in my veins. Do you still want me? Do you ache for me the way I ache for you? Has this week been torture for you as it has been for me?
I have that saved too.
I know you do.
I have "You're not just a star, Ashra." I think that's how you say it, which I think means my beloved in their
Hmm.
language. You're the whole damn universe.
Oh, Dang,
Oh
so
yeah, because when he said,
quotable.
I know. Well, when he
There
says
was
that to
so
her,
much.
there's so much because like right after he says that the first time, the one Ashley just said, he says again, like, how would you like me to do that? Eshra, I believe is how you say it. An old term of endearment I have never used before flowed from my lips before I could stop it. My darling, my life, my force, my pulse.
Hmm.
Oh God, it's so good.
Okay, this is my last one. Thank you,
Okay.
Aurelia. My name sounded both foreign and reverent on his tongue. She just writes them so well.
I know.
So good.
And this will probably be my last one, I'll say, but this is when they're doing like this bonding ceremony. They're getting married would be a very basic term, I guess, because it is more
It's
powerful
more
than a
than that.
marriage. Yeah.
Yeah.
It says, Rin and I spoke slowly together, rhythmically. I can't say it. I'm too excited. In the old language. It was a tongue I was committed to learning, but for the time being, he taught me the meaning. Blood of my blood, soul of my soul, as day turns to night and winter to spring, all that is vital must wither. All that begins must end, and I lay my heart in the palm of your hands.
That's sweet.
10 out of 10. I'm going to throw my phone. I don't know why, because I'm so excited. Anyway, those are my favorites.
Those are my favorites too.
Those are some good books.
Bow, bow,
Mhm.
bow.
So everyone, make sure you read it. Read it before the second part comes out. And 4 short months. I cannot believe it.
I know, right?
It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
And
Okay.
also go listen to our interview with her. I guess that was
Yes.
Yeah.
'Cause
I mean,
she's fun.
honestly, our interview with her, we could have probably talked all night. We just could not shut the fuck up talking to her
It was a little unhinged.
yeah, yeah.
slightly.
Yeah.
Should we wrap up with some kudos?
Let's do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, my voice hurts. My throat hurt. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't hurt, but I have been yapping.
I feel like we might all have the same one, at least one of the same one.
Mm-hmm.
It's our friend Jen, it was her birthday like celebration yesterday. She cooked her own birthday celebration dinner.
Which that just means we're not good friends.
When I tell you it was like something out of a cookbook, it was like this whole
Mm-hmm.
she made a whole chicken and this like beautiful little like pan sprinkled with like root vegetables and
Oh,
homemade gravy. It
That meal
was
was so good.
I was like, how did you make these carrots?
I
Tell me
just tasted
how.
the carrots.
So
It
good. That
was
salad was so
so
good.
good. Yeah, Nora made a salad. Chanel made these amazing mushrooms. Was it like a cream cheese or something in the
It
mushrooms?
was, yeah, stuffed mushrooms. Yeah.
I felt so freaking fancy yesterday with what we
It
were
was
eating.
delicious. I did nothing but brought myself and my appetite, and it was glorious.
But we love her and it was her birthday and it was so much fun and
Mhm.
it's hard to get everybody together. I was shocked that like all of us
Mhm.
had Saturday night free, like kind of
Mhm.
last minute. And so we
Mhm.
all got to be together for her birthday and hang out and it was just so much fun and she's
Mhm.
amazing and happy birthday, Jen. We love you.
Happy birthday, Jenny. Mm.
Yeah.
That's my kudos.
You took the kudos. You took it. Whatever.
She
Mhm.
took it.
I just did the kudos for all of us.
I
Yeah,
know.
good job, good job.
Yeah.
I also want to kudos. This is Stacy. We've learned that some people get me and Ashley mixed up when they listen, which is fine. It's
I
because
know,
we're
right?
twins. I mean, honestly, in our early episodes I've listened before, sometimes I can't tell who's talking, me or you. I can't remember who was saying it.
We're so
Um,
annoyed.
yeah. I also want to kudos my therapist. Life is hard in general, but it can be harder in the holidays and life. Um, I know I say it a lot, but I struggle a lot with balance. I got 2 young kids right now. Thank God I have a great support system like Ashley and Chanel and my family and, my husband and everything. But I don't know what I would do without my therapist. She is unreal and
He's the
amazing. So
rock.
she's yeah, I don't know. Thank God Ashley's so proactive in finding basically Ashley found the most amazing therapist on the planet and then I just went to her. So thank you, Ashley, I guess, for finding her for all
That's
of
right.
us.
Kudos to me.
So
Just kidding. Don't look at me like that, Chanel.
mental health is important, is what I'm saying. So everyone take care of
Yes.
yourselves out there. I think therapy is good for anyone, even if you think everything's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It's
Even if your life's amazing, I can
yeah,
still go to therapy. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, I like both of those kudos. I'm stealing both of those
Yeah,
Go
kudos.
dude.
ahead, take
She was
them.
like, that's my therapist. That's
It's
my
my
friend.
therapist.
These
That's
are
my
it's my
friend.
therapist.
Yeah, happy birthday, Jenny. I love you. And that was an amazing dinner.
Oh my, I can't stop it. I could
I
never.
know we
Like,
had so much fun, and it was like you said, just so good to just like hang out and
mhm.
yeah, and just be together.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt like it was my birthday, so I
I
just had such a great
yeah.
time. You know what I mean? Like we were just having fun and hanging out and girls'
Mm-hmm.
night.
Oh,
Um,
we played what was that game called? I
like
beat
shuffleboard.
Chanel.
The
We played
shuffleboard.
shuffleboard.
Would you do
Yeah.
get 1 point? Because when I left, ain't no one had any points on that
I
board.
know. Ashley cheated, honestly. That's what
Oh, here we
happened.
go. I
I
didn't
said
cheat.
Ashley and Jen won,
I
and
actually
me
hit
and
the
Brittany lost. So
scoreboard with my sweatshirt.
Oh,
whatever.
she accidentally did it,
Yeah.
Chanel. It's not a big
Mhm.
deal. Oh wait, we gotta mention that cake. That cake was delicious.
Did you
Yeah.
like it?
It was a
Birthday
heart-shaped cake from this bakery in Indianapolis. It's been around for 1,000 years, and it's so good.
is so
Taylor's
cute.
Bakery
Yeah, shout outs to Taylor's Bakery.
was
So
amazing.
cute. And yeah, I love our therapist, Heather. She's been amazing, who I've been
Yeah.
seeing pretty frequently now. And so yeah, she's just like you said, just a good sounding board and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, keeping me sane with life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. Like
Yeah.
we love our listeners. Like if you've been with us, whether it's your first week or however long we've been doing this. So thank you. Thank you
Been
for
rambling for a
listening.
long time.
And we're
So
gonna keep on rambling.
Yay.
Okay, guys. Well, have a safe week out there and make sure you read what you like.